Hey guys, Jonathan here, and today we'll be comparing every minifigure play scale version of the Guardians of the Galaxy Milano ships. Now, of course, we've gotten several versions over the years, including some mini builds and polybags, which for the sake of this video will not be counted. I really just want to focus on the ones that came with minifigures and or were meant to interface with minifigures, and if you want to see a comparison of every Guardians of the Galaxy ship ever, I have an older video on my channel, which of course does not include the new Milano. If you want me to redo that video comparing all of them, I suppose we could do that too, but I've never done one focused on just the Milanos, and with the new 2024 model, which LEGO sent me early to review, although all thoughts are my own, I thought now was a good time to go back and revisit the 2014 and 2017 models and see how the ship has evolved over the years. So with that being said, let's dive in and get to it now. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 came out in 2014, and we got 3 LEGO sets from it, the biggest one being the Milano Spaceship Rescue that came out in June of that year. Now, the thing you have to remember, guys, is that at the time, we didn't know anything about the Guardians, so, getting this Star-Lord character and Ronan, basically all we really knew was the comics, but these were not like mainstay household name characters like they are now, so this was a pretty big gamble at 75 bucks, almost kind of like the Eternals. Granted, I think this movie was a lot better than the Eternals, but kind of the same thing where like the sets were hitting store shelves and we didn't really know what we were buying. We were just kind of buying the hype, if you will. That being said, as minifigures go, the Star-Lord here is really cool. He had his full Ravager jacket on, and all 3 of the Guardians of this set have the exact same legs, interestingly enough. If we lift the helmet up, he had the same head that they used on Bucky Barnes back in the day, and you kind of used the short hair on it, so you could do that. And he also came with a helmet. There have only ever been 2 sets that came with Star-Lord's helmet. Both of them were Milanos, and that's the next set we'll look at here in just a minute. Other than him, we also got an exclusive Gamora, which was really nice. Got the green skin, and basically you have the green skin on the torso and the head, but the legs are the same as Star-Lord. Can flip that around and see there's some printing on the back as well, and she's got a smirk on one side and an angry fighting face on the other. For Drax, he had a more calm face here, not really making any expression, but we do have great arm printing for his tattoos that look awesome, as well as front and back printing on the torso, even some printing on the back of the head and those same legs as everybody else. We have the Sakaran here, which was an army builder. You got one of these in every set from this wave, and he had a reversible head with some talons and 2 eyes on one side, and then a closed face with just 1 eye showing on the other side. So nothing to get too excited about. Unique gun for this figure, and probably the best figure in the set was Ronan. He only came in this set, so that's quite cool as well. You can lift this helmet piece off and flip that around for a more calm face on the other side. Then you can lift the cape up to see some printing on the back as well, and overall, it's a really great figure. The other thing is the gun that they use against Ronan, the one that Star-Lord holds and like blasts out, so that's cool that that was included. And then, of course, that brings us to the ship itself. Now, there was a Rocket Raccoon polybag that came out around this time that had Rocket in his Ravager suit, and that kind of helped complete out the team, but that polybag came with some extra stickers you could put on this, so that's kind of cool to point out, but this model here does not have those stickers on. I really love what they did with the front here to kind of get that triangular look at the front, and overall, this is one of the bigger models that they ever put out, and it's pretty amazing that this was $75. I mean, just giving it a quick spin, you can see we had a mix of Technic elements for the wings on the back here, have this really cool, piece back here for the engine. These engines in the back twist as well. Then we could lift up this entire roof section to access the inside, where there were seats for all the Guardians inside. Now, the Groot that came in this wave was a big fig, so you couldn't even possibly fit Groot in here, but, Star-Lord, Drax, Gamora, and Rocket, at least all the, characters could have a place to sit. We had some clips on the side here to put Star-Lord's guns. If we flip it around, you can see that they reused a Star Wars piece for the computer up front there. That's pretty cool. And then, of course, if we bring it around back, it is a little tricky to see the interior here as it sits, but we do have a stereo in the back with the speakers and a little cassette there, and I really like that there was a window in the back for the Guardians to look out of, and of course we have a fire extinguisher hanging on the wall there. A lot of LEGO Marvel sets back in the day used to hide that as an Easter egg, which is pretty cool, and yeah, this is the set. I definitely think it was worth $75, and honestly, for a long time, this was my favorite LEGO Marvel set, but there have been better ones since then, but I have a lot of nostalgia for this. I really enjoyed building and getting this back in the day. 3 years later, in 2017, we got the Milano versus the Abilisk in March. So this is a really cool build. It's the smallest minifigure scale Milano we've gotten to date, but it did come with the pink monster they fight, but again, this video is only focusing on the main builds here. That being said, our Star-Lord minifig this time around was absolutely excellent, except for the fact that the torso is supposed to be dark red instead of gray, so unfortunately, the torso isn't accurate even though it has tons of detail. The legs are the same ones that were used on Civil War Hawkeye and in some other places, and this helmet was the last time we would ever get a Star-Lord helmet on a Star-Lord minifig, at least as of the recording of this video. If we lift that up, you can see they still use that same Bucky Barnes style head, but you can flip it around and see he's got an angry face on the other side, so that's kind of cool. Then we can lift this up, and you can see that he had a neck bracket with a 1x1 stud and binoculars for a jetpack, but honestly, I think he looks even better without that because the jetpack is printed onto the back of the torso. He has his standard blasters, and overall, it's a really nice figure. Then we have Gamora, who has the exact same torso. The only difference is that her hands are green, but even in the movie, she has a red jacket or red shirt on too, so the gray isn't accurate for her either. The legs are exactly the same, and then, of course, she's got that unique hairpiece, and you've got a smile on one side, and you can flip it around for a grit teeth, angry face on the other, and, of course, she still has that same printing on the back for her jetpack. Next, we have Drax, a slight difference from the Volume 1 version. You know, he's got the arm printing still, he's got the back printing. He does have that same jetpack that Star-Lord has, so that's pretty cool. We can slide that off so you can see the back printing too. Lots of detail there. And he also has the blue legs, which differentiate him from the last version and definitely makes him a standout and a great figure. Our final traditional minifigure is Nebula. Of course, she's got some battle damage on the torso there. And the other difference with this figure is in Volume 1, she has a dark blue head with light blue in the center. This time, it's dark blue in the center with a light blue head. So that's a slight difference. And of course, she's got some handcuffs there. And finally, who can't go nuts for Baby Groot? He's so adorable. He's just a singular stud little figure here. And then, of course, he's got little bulbs for hands there. And those can kind of clip onto things like this little battery that the set comes with or whatever. That being said, the real focus of the video is the ship. So let's talk about the ship here. It's the scaled down version. Like I said, it's the smallest version of this ship we've gotten to date, at least to be in scale with minifigures, so unfortunately it's not true to scale with the movie, and you have to remember that there were 460 pieces in this, 5 exclusive minifigs, and the retail price was $50, so it's actually not too bad for $50 plus that side build that you'd get. We have a lot of stickers on here with the Milano, a lot of stickers on the back, so it definitely had its fair share of stickers, but the canopy was printed, and you could open it up to see we've got a cassette sticker on the back there, and interestingly enough, you can actually fit all of the Guardians inside, so let me show you what that looks like. Alright, so Baby Groot will have to sit in somebody's lap, but you can fit all of the minifigures from this set inside, and I really, really like that. So definitely big props on that. The other play feature here is that there are some bombs on the bottom side that you can press these Technic pins in and then drop the bombs out like that. And we do have some stud shooters up top where you just press this tab down and the stud comes out, a little something like that. But overall, it's a very nice build, and hard to believe you got all of this plus that pink monster for only $50. Alright, now that brings us to the 2024 Milano. Since it's been a minute since we talked about it, it has 2,090 pieces with a $179.99 price tag and 5 minifigs. So the wingspan of this is absolutely insane. The first thing I want to point out, though, is how incredible the color contouring is. Let's just go ahead and pick on this side. Look how these bricks fit together to create not only the shaping of the orange to go back and at an angle, but also it fits in with the blue and the gray to be literally seamless. We even have like kind of a little plus sign right there. It literally looks incredible. Now, it did just come off the stand, so unlike the set previous, this set actually does remove from the stand pretty easy. Not such a bad thing, and as you can see, it's kind of displayed at a little bit of an angle on the stand. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this side. We do have a Milano sticker that's right here, and then all the wings on this actually move, which is pretty incredible. So our top wings move up and down because there's 2 ball joints, so they don't really move much beyond that. Then this wing here, I guess, is stationary, but beneath it, this wing moves on 2 little pieces there. Then if we flip the whole thing around, you can see that this wing moves on a ball joint in the back. There's 2 ball joints there. One of them had come undone, so you get the real raw version here. But this can go into the little opening on the side of the wing right here, which is pretty cool. Over on the side, you can see we've got some thrusters in the back. These ones are on ball joints, so they can move in any which direction, as the same with the bottom. I also really like this window here, which we'll be able to revisit a little better when we go inside. But basically, there's a bed right there. You can sort of see the pillows of the bed, if you will. And I really like that you kind of get some story continuity with the ship of being able to see in the outside and everything there. We also have this little engine right here. Then, of course, all the wing functionality replays on the side. I love underneath how they got the shaping of this. You know, when you look at it, how it angles back and forth, and even how it angles up into the build is truly phenomenal and really just makes this a standout set. To me, this really shows the high watermark of what LEGO Marvel can offer in this price range, and I literally could not be more impressed. So, we'll go ahead and move just a little bit closer. We do, just like the 2021 ship we just looked at, have a uniquely printed cockpit here, which lifts up and allows you to fit the Guardians into the cockpit here for piloting. So we're just going to put them in random spots, but as you can see, we can actually fit 3 Guardians this time, which is incredibly cool. So we'll put Gamora in the top seat here. Then, of course, Rocket can go in this seat right here. And I do think that that's incredible. Not only do they all fit from a seating position, but you can also close it, which looks amazing. And of course, you can see all of their faces that way. Now, this entire top section does lift out. Remember, I was trying to do that last time. And then we have area for all the Guardians inside. In fact, they all have a dedicated spot, which is pretty cool. So you could put the 3 pilots up front, as you could see. Then, of course, Baby Groot can go on this little table right here. If I could get him to face the right way, that'd help. And then, of course, Drax can sit in the seat behind, and you can recreate that scene from the end of Guardians. So as you can see, Groot fits on that table perfectly, and Drax fits in that seat. And when you look at it from a certain angle, it perfectly recreates that scene from the Guardians credits roll. That being said, behind Drax, you can see that there are spots to put his knives, as well as Gamora's sword hanging in the wall. There's a very cool vintage poster on the wall behind Groot, which is great. Then over on this side, we've got Yondu calling in on the screen. It's technically the Guardians 2 Yondu with the, mohawk and everything, so it's not super accurate to Guardians 1, but I could give it a pass just based on how great it is. We have a walkway on both sides here, and if you look, we have all these studs facing there where you could put your minifigures standing all around the interior of the Milano. There's also clips to hide Star-Lord's guns. And then just like I said, we do have that bed in the back, as well as the awesome mixed tape deck there. And there's the window. You can kind of see my finger there, the window beneath the bed. So I really like how much story there is in this. And again, just all of the colors and contouring and shaping on this really make it the standout model of the 2 for me. All right, guys, well, let me know what you thought of this video in the comments down below. I think it's pretty fair to say the 2024 Milano brings the most to the table. It is just incredible, but it's really neat to see how great the 2014 one was to kick things off, and the interesting take that the 2017 one offered as well. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Be sure to hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.